Today we're setting sail, metaphorically, to explore one of the most iconic warships ever built, USS Nimitz CVN-68, the lead ship of the Nimitz-Class nuclear-powered aircraft carriers. Over the next several minutes, or however long your video runs, I want to take you deep inside this floating city, walk you around its exterior, talk about what makes it tick in terms of performance, and finally dig into what it costs to build, operate, and maintain a vessel of this magnitude. Let's launch. From the moment you set eyes on the USS Nimitz, the sheer scale is awe-inspiring. It's more than a ship, it's a city at sea, with its own life support, propulsion, aviation systems, and logistical backbone. The Nimitz was laid down on June 22, 1968, launched on May 13, 1972, and commissioned May 3, 1975. As the first of her class, she defined the design and many of the features that later carriers would refine. When fully loaded, she displaces on the order of 100,000 tons, long tons, or thereabouts. The ship is about 1,092 feet, 333 meters, in overall length, with a flight deck width of roughly 252 feet, 77 meters. The beam at the waterline is around 134 feet. The draft is around 37.7 feet, about 11.5 meters. Her propulsion is one of her defining features. The Nimitz is powered by two A4W nuclear reactors, pressurized water reactors. Those reactors produce steam that drives 4 steam turbines, each connected to a shaft and propeller, giving a total installed power of around 260,000 shaft horsepower, about 194 megawatts. Speeds over 30 knots are routinely cited. That's over 34 to 35 mph, or roughly 55 to 60 km per hour. The advantage of nuclear propulsion is stamina. She can operate for years without refueling, fuel being nuclear fuel, limited only by supplies, maintenance, logistics, and crew. Let's imagine stepping aboard. Inside, the carrier functions as a self-sustaining afloat base. Below the flight deck, hangar bays hold aircraft when they're not flying. Elevators lift jets and support equipment from the hangar to the flight deck. The Nimitz has 4 aircraft elevators. The hangar deck is deep, with maintenance shops, spare parts stores, avionics shops, fuel storage, ordnance magazines, and logistics corridors. The corridors and spaces are cramped by necessity, but every inch is used. Think of winding passageways, cable runs, ventilation ducts, and the constant hum of life systems. Life support is critical. The Nimitz carries multiple distillation plants, which produce fresh water from seawater. The capacity is often given as over 400,000 gallons per day, or more, of fresh water. That water supports propulsion, catapults, cooling, crew use, galleys, hygiene, and more. She also stocks enough food, supplies, and dry goods to last for long deployments. When fully stocked, the stores might last 90 days without resupply. The medical department is like a small hospital. About 80 beds, with multiple doctors including a surgeon, dental facilities, and related medical infrastructure. The ship also supports barbershops, a post office processing over 1 million pounds of mail per year, chaplains, morale facilities, and more. The galleys feed thousands daily. Typical figures are 18,000 to 20,000 meals a day. Crew size is enormous. The ship's company, the sailors who run the ship, maintain systems, navigation, etc., is around 3,200 people. The air wing adds about 2,480 more, pilots, maintainers, support staff, ordnance crews, etc. So in full operation she carries over 6,000 people total. From the outside, the flight deck is massive, about 4.5 acres, or approximately 18,200 square meters. On the flight deck, catapults launch aircraft, and arresting wires recover them. The Nimitz has 4 catapults, allowing multiple simultaneous launches, and typically 4 arresting cables. For recovery, aircraft include F/A-18 Hornets and Super Hornets, E-2 Hawkeyes, EA-18G Growler electronic warfare versions, ASW helicopters like MH-60s, and logistics aircraft such as C-2 Greyhounds. Weapons and defensive systems are also integrated. Sea Sparrow missile launchers for point defense phalanx CIWS close-in weapon systems, rapid-fire 20mm machine gun mounts likely for close defense, and electronic warfare systems. Performance in action is where this ship shows its strength. Her nuclear propulsion gives an almost unlimited range, limited by supplies, maintenance, and crew endurance. That means she can project power across oceans far from port. Her capability to launch and recover aircraft at sea gives strategic and tactical flexibility. In training cycles like COMPTUEX, she integrates with destroyers, cruisers, submarines, and supply ships to act as the center of a carrier strike group. Her ability to sustain high sortie rates, i.e. many aircraft takeoffs and landings per day, is a feature of her design and crew systems. Operational histories show she's deployed worldwide, including in the Indo-Pacific, Arabian Sea, and elsewhere. But no ship is perfect. Nimitz, being older, faces maintenance challenges, modernization needs, and eventually a limit to operational life. Her service life is projected around 50 years. Indeed, as of recent planning, Nimitz is slated for decommissioning or retirement beginning around 2025-2027. Now, the question of price is tricky. Warships don't behave like cars or consumer products. There's the initial construction cost, refueling, complex overhauls, and annual operating cost. Public resources suggest that earlier in her life, the Navy estimated annual operating costs for a carrier at around $160 million per year. This figure is from FY 1996 estimates. Modern operating costs are certainly higher, considering inflation, modernization, fuel for escorts, personnel, maintenance, and upgrades. As for the build cost, while precise data are often classified or proprietary, constructing a nuclear carrier like Nimitz likely ran into billions of dollars, in then-era dollars. You must consider the reactors, nuclear systems, hull, propulsion, electronics, weapons, aircraft, support systems, and installation. Then during her life, she underwent refueling and complex overhauls, RCOH, which are extremely expensive. In fact, the Nimitz underwent a major refueling overhaul in 2001. Her deployments over decades, modernization refits, system upgrades, maintenance in shipyards, spare parts, and day-to-day operations have cumulatively cost many billions more. If you try to think of price per ton, or cost per crew member, the numbers would be huge. Many analysts say that each new aircraft carrier, in the modern Ford class, the successor to the Nimitz-Class, can cost tens of billions of dollars. The Nimitz-Class in its time was the cutting edge of naval engineering, and the lead ship's development cost also includes research and development overheads. From a practical video perspective, one way to present it is, the Nimitz, when first built and outfitted, likely cost in the low to mid-billions 1970s dollars. Over its lifetime, including refueling, maintenance, modernization, and operations, the total life cycle cost probably exceeds tens of billions in current dollars. To wrap up, USS Nimitz is more than an aircraft carrier, it's a symbol of naval power, engineering ambition, and strategic projection. Her interior hides a maze of systems, from nuclear reactors to hangars to medical wards. Her exterior looms with flight deck complexity, weapons systems, and massive displacement. Performance promises speed, endurance, and air operations far at sea. And her price, both in construction and operation, is staggering, backed by decades of investment. For the video, you could intersperse archival footage, diagrams of reactor and propulsion layouts, cutaway animations showing internal decks, footage of aircraft launching and landing, and interviews or quotes from sailors who served aboard. Include comparisons to newer carriers or foreign carriers to show how the Nimitz remains relevant, or aging, in context. If you like, I can also prepare timestamps, video segment scripts, or a version broken into parts, interior, exterior, performance, cost. Do you want me to break it into a full timeline format too?